Hello, everyone. This is the demo for Provenance Guard, a backend service that classifies text as likely AI, likely human, or likely or uncertain, with a confidence score, appeals, rate limiting, and an audit log. There were six required milestones to complete this task. And additionally, there were four stretch features as well. And I'll try to go through each and every feature that I implemented here in this. Uh, in order to achieve that, I have a dual terminal setup here. In one end, as you can see, I have my backend running on this port here, as you can see. Um, Now, my next step here would be to demonstrate the stylized text or the text classification between human written language and AI written language. So let's start with this curl request here. We can see that it's going to the same port. The text is, honestly, this ramen place downtown was a letdown last night. It needed more depth and the noodles were kind of mushy. It's just like a review, I feel. Looks human written to me, but let's see what our classifier says for the same. Yeah. So with a confidence of 0.2-ish, low moderate score, it is attributing it as human. Now, as you can see here, there are three signals that it provides: an LLM read, a stylometric heuristics, and an AI phrase check. Now, all lead towards human. Therefore, it comes back human with a real confidence score and not just a raw number. Now, there's also one thing, which is the word count of this request here is 57 words. And that is intended to be that way because with a lot of shorter texts, it's a lot more difficult to recognize whether it's AI or not. So with all the phrases or sentences that are 40 words or less, we are just categorizing it as uncertain since it's just too short of a sentence to classify it correctly. That being said, let's try this sentence right here. Um, so, or let me just uh, read through this. We have a port here, same as before. It is important to know that in today's fast-paced world, effective communication plays a crucial role. Let's see like what this has been classified as. So as we can see that this one is uncertain with a moderate to high confidence score. Now the label here says the signals we checked didn't clearly agree, so we can't confidently say that this was written by a human or AI. So instead of being unresolved, it is rather guessing here. Now, the signals conflict, right? So instead of confidently calling it AI, the score shrinks back to uncertain, even though you might have an argument that it's full of AI stock phrasing here, right? The phrase lexicon, the LLM signals all flag towards AI, but that's the ensemble that we are refusing to overcome it. When our own signals disagree, we just want to go for the uncertainty route. Finally, and I would want to show this content ID that is filled from our previous step here. So what I'm going to do is I'll just paste this. So as you can see here, content type, application JSON, and then content ID is the one that we are going to use from our last to last one. So let's just use this here, for instance. So what I'll do is we can just go ahead and paste it right here. So with that being said, let's try and see how this works for us. So as we can see that this is our appeals. There was an appeal ID, a content ID. There's a status which says it's under review, and then it was submitted on so and so date. Now, the creators here, they can contest the decision and it flips to under review. And the logs linked to the original review entry are they are for human review and not auto reclassification. So this is something that we can manually sort out at the end, just to, just if there are discrepancies between the tool and the user. So they can make that appeal request. Now, every submission and appeal is append only, logged with both signal scores. Now, the submissions are also rate limited here, 10 per minute and then 100 a day per IP address. And that is intentional because, we wouldn't want spam in our tool here, right? And then finally, what I'm going to do is I will run this final command for verification here. So let's see this one. As we can see here, we run our text certificate, verified human writer, completed an independent writing sample verification check. And then finally, what we ultimately did was this was reviewed by a human. They deemed it as verified human. So that's the status we are going with. And this is the provenance certificate. A creator verifies with a fresh sample and it shows up alongside the label on future submissions, not instead of it. I also built a third ensemble signal, a live analytics dashboard, and a support for image metadata as a second content type. This is all documented in the README if you want to look later on. Um, there are a few honest limitations which are documented as well. There's repetitive poetry and formal writing. Now, both of those things can be misread as AI, and the sentence splitter can miscount comma spliced text. Written up, not patched over. So that's all about Provenance Guard. Thank you.